Needless to say, this is disturbing to watch, and I apologize for not providing a warning for the faint of heart in advance. But I did this on purpose. This video has been seen over 12 million times, and let's just look at the tags, shall we? Spider-Man, Frozen, Elsa, superhero, fun. What sort of people do you think are searching these tags? It's either going to be children or parents searching for videos for their kids to watch.
There's the issue of copyright infringement. Assuming that none of these videos are made by Disney, its subsidiary Marvel, or DC Comics, then the use of characters such as Elsa, Spider-Man, Mickey Mouse, or the Joker for making money is clear copyright infringement. These corporations have staunchly defended their intellectual properties in the past, and it seems strange that they are suddenly turning a blind eye to this matter. For these companies to allow themselves to associate their characters with violent, gruesome, and often fetishistic content is shocking, to say the least. With such defamatory use of these characters, it should become a prerogative for the owners of these icons to take action and ensure their brand has no associations with this content of a mostly crude or adult nature.
Why is this content being made for children and in such huge amounts? It's likely that this is a method of grooming by pedophiles. By exposing small children to traumatic content repeatedly with familiar characters, it normalizes what they see and makes them less resistant to otherwise traumatic experiences later on, like abduction or even rape, especially if such predators were to dress in these same costumes.
If you ever let your child watch YouTube videos, we have got a warning for you. Some people are creating disturbing cartoons, making them appear kid-friendly, only to get your children to watch inappropriate content.
That's for our consumers.
All covering an event commonly referred to as Elsagate. Yet despite receiving mainstream attention, mass reports, and millions of individual complaints, YouTube did almost nothing to fix the situation. Until November 27th of that year, when in a BuzzFeed article, YouTube finally announced they were cracking down on the problem, removing over 150,000 of these inappropriate videos and demonetizing over 2 million more. Please note that this announcement, while positive and overall a pretty big win for the platform, just so happened to occur only 3 days after a bunch of major brands and advertisers had pulled out due to the entire scandal. YouTube, years later, would also get fined $170 million by the FTC, partially for having such a glaring issue with their quote-unquote kids content and child safety rules. As a result of this, YouTube would also update their guidelines to ban any inappropriate use of quote family entertainment characters, and also implement a brand new labeling system, forcing creators to decide whether or not their videos are made for kids. If a video is determined to be made for kids, it will lose a majority of features that normal videos have, such as the comment section, and most importantly, personalized ads and a majority of ad revenue. But if that's the case, then how are these channels, which are clearly targeted towards children, still able to make so much money? And the answer is about as simple as it is aggravating. To be honest, it really doesn't matter what option the creator chooses, as both types of content, even ones specifically marked as not for kids, actively get recommended through the YouTube Kids app, as long as the video looks family friendly enough in the eyes of the algorithm by loading up the thumbnail with a bunch of bright colors and swapping out any potentially dangerous words like rape with prank or with love curse. It will get recommended just the same. Here we go again.
Take off the foo-foo, take off the cloud chase, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the money phone, take off the car loan, take off the flex and the white loss, take off the weird ass drug, I'ma take 10 steps till I'm taking off top off, take off the fabricated streams and the microwave beams, it's a real world outside.
But it's okay, I have a gun!
We just tied you to the bed. Just don't shout and everything will be fine.
We're going to the girl's house. We knock them out and then tie them to the bed. We take scissors and cut their clothes.
You have no idea how long I've been waiting for this. Jump onto my bed and strip off all your clothes.
Hey, I can even carry you.
I know. Wait, I was just playing. And I'm hungry, so it's my turn.
Hey, that hurts.
Hey? You like playing with fire, right? But you must know very well that you can get burned.
There's a lot of misconceptions about what gooning means because most people on the internet see it as nothing more than a funny meme. You might have heard the word goon and thought to yourself, that's that funny word for pleasuring yourself, right? Gooning is an activity in which a person repeatedly pleasures themselves right before the point of climax to reach a sexual trance of pure ecstasy. A goon-lightenment, if you will. If you're on social media often, you might think this sounds a lot like gooning's right-hand man, edging. But there's a key distinction between the two. While edging is the act of pleasuring yourself to the point right before you climax, gooning is doing this so many times to the point where you purposefully put yourself in the same state that SpongeBob and Patrick found themselves in when they turned on the Orb of Confusion.
Take this!
No joke, the term edge-maxing might be the best word to describe what gooning is.
I can't get any mixing done with you shaking your fat f***ing ass every 2 seconds.
You sound stressed. Lighten up, enjoy the show, and rub one out.
Many Gen Z individuals claiming that they have acquired these fetishes from exposure at such a developmental age.
In a census done back in 2021, the United States government discovered that around 75% of households with children under the age of 5 owned some sort of tablet for their kids. And in 2023, it was reported that YouTube Kids had over 600 million individual downloads, with that number growing exponentially each year. Unfortunately, it's becoming increasingly common nowadays for newer parents to rely on apps like this as a way to keep their child entertained without having to put in any actual effort, letting them sit and watch hours of content unsupervised under the guise that it's a completely safe way for them to consume content. And the result? Ever since I was 9, I've been exposed to sexual content on YouTube, and ever since then, my life has gotten a lot worse. I keep getting random headaches and can't focus on one thing for more than 60 minutes at a time. I've also had a lot of memory losses due to this content and have sadly developed an addiction. Not me, but my friend used to watch these videos. He developed a severe addiction. It took him months to stop. When I was little, a bunch of these Minecraft and Elsagate videos popped up, and from then, for 8 years, I am one who was exposed to this. This is an extremely big problem. I will say this is really effective. Messes with the mind. Bro, I used to watch this shit too, and it's given me horrible trauma and got me addicted to it. I just turned 18 a week ago, and YouTube back in 2016, 2017 messed me up in such a big way. I struggled with so much depression, and being exposed to so much vile content ruined my perception on myself and how I act subconsciously. And I've lost a lot of my most important years and lessons where I should have been properly taught about that stuff when I was ready. Multiple studies have proven that children's ages 0 to 8, the primary target of both YouTube Kids and these channels, are in the most formative years of their life. Everything they do, learn, and consume in these years play a huge part into shaping the type of person they'll be for the rest of their lives. This is why traditional kids programming such as PBS Kids always ends with a positive, educational, and age-appropriate lesson being learned. It's because all shows on the network are specifically designed to support a child's development in these crucial years and promote healthy, positive behavior as seen in their official educational guidelines. But you know what platform isn't properly regulated and is quickly becoming more popular than traditional programming? YouTube and YouTube Kids. Studies show that children exposed to violent and suggestive media at such a young age can develop lasting trauma and create serious damage to the development of the brain.
The problem arises when these meme channels use explicit imagery of characters that are primarily beloved by young children.
And oh my god, there is so much sexualized content. But, bad bra, steal undie. Why are you sitting on his face? Spy on butt. Spy on what? Essay crime? Essay crime. Arrow point where? Oh look, essay crime. Man, don't you love YouTube paying creators who are slowly normalizing the most heinous acts performable by human beings in front of kids to drool over all day? Isn't it amazing that this kids content is bringing in millions and millions of views by vulgarizing every single aspect of their favorite show or game?
You could have killed me. Hey!
Did he just go down on Pomni?
The descriptions of these videos weren't anything too noticeable at first, with them just being filled with somewhat relevant hashtags. But in his video, Chica and Roxy Become Canny Rule 34, which features a thumbnail of the character Foxy seemingly performing cunnilingus on the character Chica, the descriptions became a little more sinister. The description became full of kids' search terms, with hundreds of variations of different things like Minecraft videos, both in English, Russian, Korean, and Turkish. All these languages were basically saying the same thing. Search terms like Paw Patrol, Masha the Bear, Luca, and Disney, which are properties that are for very, very young children, appear in these descriptions. This makes it clear that this description is trying to get the algorithm to show these videos to people searching up these sort of things. Upon seeing these things in the description, a massive pit in my stomach grew as I realized why some of these videos have so many views. This was an incredibly disturbing revelation. Since Skibidi Toilet is incredibly popular with young children, these individuals decided to kill two birds with one stone and combine Mr. Incredible Becoming Canny with Skibidi Toilet Alliance Girl art. As the meme goes, the art starts off normal, then gets increasingly more and more sexual. These videos seem to get away with more than the other ones. My theory as to why these videos remain up is possibly because the YouTube detection bot doesn't pick up that these drawings are sexual, since they're, technically not human girls and have gray skin. It's wild how many channels have adapted these alliance girls as their mainstream of revenue, which now start to become one of the most prominent parts of modern Elsagate. When looking up an innocent search term, such as Mr. Incredible Becomes Canny FNAF, you'll be met with the disgusting content we've been talking about throughout this video. However, imagine if you're a kid trying to find a consolidated place to find these videos. So you search with playlists, and you're met with this. Hundreds of playlists full of straight up real pornography featuring actual naked human women. These playlists are also incredibly strange in nature, with short clips of actual women, an odd foreign cooking or tutorial video, and then some pretty obscene Mr. Incredible memes. These playlists are an entire rabbit hole on their own, with many of them leading to even more obscene playlists during their end screens. These playlists branch to different fetishes, with one of the most prominent ones being navel licking. These specific playlists often come up at the end of the videos, such as an end screen that you can click on, which then leads to more and more raunchy content. What if I told you there was a channel that was completely explicit, wasn't age restricted, and had tons of videos preying on the intrigue of little children? Well, unfortunately, Dr. Horror provides us exactly that. Believe it or not, there were tons of videos uploaded by this channel that were definitely what you'd expect from everything we've talked about so far. The animated Incredible meme was commonly used alongside this bald anime-looking Dwayne Johnson character. This channel used many different characters that we've seen before: Pomni, FNAF, Skibidi Alliance Girls, and, unfortunately, miscellaneous characters, some of which being underage. On the surface, Dr. Horror isn't anything special at all. However, there is one small detail in them that sets them apart from the rest.
The censorship is low opacity, meaning you can see right through it in most cases. If you couldn't already tell, this means that this censorship is basically useless, as everything hidden is still visible. Not only that, but some of his videos have single frame flashes where the censorship goes completely away, leaving bare naked bodies of these characters perfectly accessible to kids who know how to use YouTube video speed controls.
Clearly, this is not okay. To me, these videos should be at the utmost concern when they employ characters that are loved by very young children, which, unfortunately, is the majority of them. But what if they did more than just that? What if they entered a far more degenerate and illegal territory? Enter incest. Oddly enough, many of the memes that appear when searching Mr. Incredible Becomes Canny regard one's sister, with pictures getting increasingly sexual. Memes like POV your sister is, or POV your sister does this. One of the most foul ones I found was on a channel by the name of Meston Funny Memes. The meme in question is very upfront, with the thumbnail being this. The video starts off semi-innocent, with the meme just essentially showing your sister doing random innocent things, until it says, "She excites you." And then right after that, showing, "She made you a blowjob," and then says, "She woke you up. It was a dream." This is such a weird thing to post, and I don't think it's a great idea to get the idea of sexualizing your sister into these kids' heads. There are other memes of a similar nature, such as this one by Chill Meme, who uploaded a POV, your sister is meme. Again, starting off with some pretty innocent characters, until showing more and more spicy art of a girl in a creeper hoodie, and then some Anka fan art. which is ironic, most likely inspired by the Zone parody. And then finally, some naked succubus girl art, which of course just has her nips censored. Then switches to people that you don't want your sister to be, such as Greta Thunberg and a creepy titan. It only gets worse with a video uploaded by Bermit Memes. The video crafts a seemingly innocuous narrative, until the slide saying you decide to watch adult videos, and it goes majorly downhill. To make it brief, it basically says that your sister catches you watching this content, and then wants to partake in the acts portrayed on screen with you. She does, and then tells your parents. There are many more of these videos around YouTube that are incredibly easy to find by children. I find it completely absurd that these videos are up, get decent views, and no one in the comment section or anywhere around the internet are talking about it. It's insane to me that children being exposed to videos that at best normalize incest between siblings, and at worst straight up revel in the idea of it. This channel is absolutely baffling. The clips that it posts are fully uncensored, like it is straight up hentai, just on YouTube, completely. And what makes it worse is that some of these videos use characters who are teenagers, but it gets so much worse when you search by channels. When doing this, you'll find multiple channels who have genitalia straight up as their profile pictures. Clear as day. Men, women, both. And oftentimes these channels will have a Discord in their About page or in a community tab. Oftentimes they don't actually upload any videos, no memes, no cropped hentai, nothing. Just their body part and their contact information. It's shocking because they're not censored at all. Like, there are profile pictures and banners and all these things that are just straight up genitalia right there on YouTube for anyone to find. And the fact that they're trying to exchange information with people is concerning.
The very act of gooning itself calls into question the mental health of the people participating in it. I mean, it literally requires you to spend hours of your day reaching a pre-climax nirvana, causing any of your brain's logical reasoning to temporarily shut off. Let's see what the extreme ends of a gooning addiction looks like. That's right, we're headed to r/gooncaves. r/gooncaves was a subreddit full of people taking the sexual obsession of gooning to another level. On the subreddit, users would post pictures of their goon caves, a term used to describe an entire room dedicated to gooning. The rooms usually consisted of multiple computer screens, sometimes up to 10 at once, all playing adult content at the same time. Goon Simp on 6th hour of shameless pumping. Windows open so neighbors probably heard the goon grunts by now. Love the pervert baiter life. Ultimate collection update, 21 terabytes. Work trip requires a hotel goon cave. Hello fellow gooners, first time poster, long time lurker. Had my first goon session in about 5 months last night. Felt better than ever. Up the ante with 7 screens, my most ever, a new bottle of poppers, and a type of adult content I'm not even going to consider reading out loud.
More and more, I've seen people come out about how they watched the first wave of Elsagate, back when they were little kids, and how deeply they regret it. Many of these people came out with full-blown fetishes that they wish they didn't have thanks to these videos. Elsagate and the content adjacent to it can be best described as a gateway drug. It's enough to get children interested in different things like violence, incest, pregnancy, and many more things that children shouldn't be looking at when they're young. It gives kids just enough to be fascinated, so much to the point that they might start looking things up on their own time, leading to mountains and mountains of adult content super easily accessible to these kids and teens. This is the story that many late Gen Z kids shared with me, and it absolutely breaks my heart. It has been proven that exposure to overtly sexual content from a young age is incredibly harmful to the sexual and romantic development of boys. Seeing all this content confuses and sort of changes the brain to see women less as peers like anyone else, and more just as overtly sexual objects. It's bad, and it's only getting worse as content like this continues to spread. Not only this, but the effects of consumption of this content on girls is incredibly harmful too, but for different reasons. Consumption of this content for younger girls can lead to horrible body issues, since most of it doesn't portray, accurate depictions of the female body. Overall, this content is just overtly harmful for young audiences, and it's incredibly unfortunate that it's all over YouTube.
So I found a problem with YouTube featuring tons of NSFW content over every corner of the platform. From kids content videos of characters committing various forms of SA, to ads on YouTube featuring complete nudity, to advertise fraudulent scam apps being pushed throughout the entire YouTube platform, to OnlyFans models going fully nude on camera, abusing easy tricks to prevent age restriction. I hope my favorite Roblox YouTuber has uploaded a new video. He has? Yippee!
Every 1 kill I get in the strongest battlegrounds, Nova had to take off a piece of clothing. I know, take off them shorts. I want to see what's underneath, bro.
I'm taking them off.
Let's go. Everyone make sure you like and subscribe.
This not Roblox. 1 kill equal remove 1 clothing. Using hacks to make her flash. 1 kill equal remove 1 clothing. 1 kill equal remove 1 clothing. Touch my body challenge. And 1 kill remove 1 clothing.
That the thumbnails are sus, and I probably will end up stopping doing the style I'm doing, because that has got me the hate.
He did not stop using them. In fact, after this video, 1 kill not equal remove 1 clothing. No 1 kill equal remove 2 clothing.
Today, every 1 kill in Rivals means Nova has to take off 2 pieces of clothing. We've never done this before, Nova.
Yeah, so, as expected, YouTube didn't do anything about his channel or his content, and they probably won't anytime soon. Since I found out that he's been doing this for months, not on just 1, but 3 different channels. Plus, he's far from the only YouTuber doing this.
Hoping you guys like my outfit. I don't want to show too much. I do have extra bottoms on YouTube, so don't tweak out. Okay, I'm covered. Gosh, it's like how you guys always are mad at me.
Oh my god, Hannah, take something off immediately, because I'm about to die. No.
But it did get me thinking, if this guy's videos were actively being pushed towards children by the YouTube algorithm to the point that he blames them instead of himself for making this content, then YouTube isn't doing anything about it. The clothes that they put on in the video was the fabric equivalent of slightly tinted see-through plastic wrapping paper. Oh look, now she's taking her clothes off in the video without age restriction? How?
This video is recorded for informational, educational, entertainment purposes only. It does not pursue the idea of causing any sexual stimulation.
Oh! Yeah, it's educational content. I feel real educated just by looking at these thumbnails and titles alone. My brain is basically pushing against my skull from all of the learning I'm doing. They all had NSFW content, without age restriction, an upfront disclaimer of their content being for educational purposes only, to then have minutes of just with a nonsensical voiceover of what I can only imagine was an AI-generated script.
Is the window, and I'm going to make sure it's spotless. The room is bathed in this warm, romantic glow, which makes the space feel so cozy. But let's get started. I have my glass cleaner and a trusty sponge here.
And lastly, every single one of them promoting an OnlyFans profile within that educational video.
From Single Dad Life, Mother 18 Orphan, or simply Orphans, and many other similarly named channels, you'll find that the majority of these videos have thumbnails that depict a child in a horrific situation. In some of them, the child is drowning. Others, they're laying on the floor with a blood puddle near their head. And in many of them, they're being abused by an older child.
This is just the tip of the iceberg of a growing part of chronically online horny men and women who are at the mercy of adult content. And I promise you, it gets much, much worse than this. So why am I really talking about this? Just to have a laugh? No. I'm talking about this because it highlights a growing phenomenon within our culture, leading to more and more people spending hours of their day gooning. The constant desire for more stimulating adult content. Dr. K on the Healthy Gamer YouTube channel has a great in-depth video on the science of gooning, but I'm going to paraphrase what I think is the most important part of that video. You see, when you partake in gooning, you are intentionally increasing the intensity of the climax through an abnormal amount of stimulation. We can plot what this looks like on a graph, which has the threshold to climax on the y-axis and the amount of pleasure/stimulation on the x-axis. As you start to pleasure yourself, you are about to reach the normal threshold, but then you stop, aka you edge. If you continuously do this over hours, your threshold for climax starts to increase with it, and chasing that peak leaves you in the delirious state heavy gooners report themselves reaching. While Dr. K says the consequences are still unknown, and while that might be true solely for the act of edging a bunch of times in a row, what I think matters more is what it leads people to start searching for. If you are gooning daily and you constantly need more stimulation to reach climax or goon-lightenment, you will inevitably have to keep increasing the amount of stimulation you need to achieve that. In other words, just regular stroking to regular stuff ain't gonna cut it anymore. You're gonna need more. In the same way that a drug addict will have to increase their dose to feel the same effect they did when they first started taking the drug, a hardcore gooner will have to find weirder and nastier fetishes to goon to reach the level of climax that they used to be able to reach from very average adult content. I genuinely believe that this is where most people's very strange sexual fetishes are now stemming from. They are stemming from a society that gives them unlimited free access to any type of adult content that they want. And so comes the real reason I'm making this video, to bring awareness to what is causing serious mental health issues and disturbing addictions amongst not just adults, but now young children too.
There's only thousands of comments of people saying how traumatizing and impactful getting exposed to this content when they were young was for them, because this has been a recurring problem on YouTube for close to the past decade, ever since ElsaGate, the 2017 scandal where millions of kids were being exposed to the extreme vulgarization of characters such as Spider-Man, Mickey Mouse, or Elsa from Frozen. And now, almost 8 years later, those kids who are now teens are starting to share how seeing that content has impacted them. But the worst is yet to come, because who cares about all that when you could instead be making money from all the ads you can run on these kids' content videos? And what's even better is when you get the best of both worlds. By right after watching a video of doing to Pomni's, you get a YouTube ad for someone rapping her.
Long-form video isn't the only form of media a person can consume on this platform, with the other obviously being YouTube Shorts, to which I've come to learn not only has all of the same problems, but for a myriad of reasons, is actually so much worse. By doing as little as searching up Minecraft in the YouTube search bar, we can find a plethora of different channels posting these quote-unquote Minecraft animations in the Shorts tab, all with preview images that, if left uncensored, would probably get this video demonetized. And all with tens, sometimes hundreds of millions of views each. Since YouTube limits their shorts to a maximum length of only 60 seconds, as well as having no support for custom thumbnails, these channels instead lure the viewers in with the actual content of the video. And yeah, very quickly it becomes apparent that these quote-unquote animations are just straight softcore pornography, using Minecraft to mask itself as family-friendly content to bypass the YouTube Kids algorithm to get, like I said, tens, sometimes hundreds of millions of views each.
What if I told you that the most NSFW content on YouTube didn't come in the form of these animations or thumbnails? What if I told you that instead they came in the form of advertisements? And I'm not talking about those generic AI-generated anime characters promising that I'm gonna what in 1 minute? Hell, I'm not even talking about this ad, where you have 6 women laying on a bed with a guy stealing 1 sock of each just so he can creepily sniff those Tootsie holders, which then turns out to be an advertisement for the mobile game Top Heroes? Or about this AI-generated character talking about how his size was perfect for her down there?
So I really liked your size. It felt really good.
Perfect size.
Ew, gross! Now they're having AI sex. No, see, those ads are all way too child-friendly for YouTube. There are many more examples of just nothing short of porn being used to advertise obscure products or apps. And it's not like there's a way to escape them, since YouTube has now started blocking every use of ad blockers. So now, no matter your age, no matter where you are, I guess you have to be aware of the fact that at any moment in time, you could get an ad on your screen that would create a very awkward atmosphere whenever you want to show your grandma that funny cat video at a family dinner, and now all of a sudden she's having a heart attack.
Hypersexuality. Almost everything within our culture is more promiscuous and sexual now. Kids are being influenced by all these types of terms and memes more than you think, and with their curious minds are exposing themselves to things they should not have access to until they reach adulthood. I don't think anyone can deny that sexual education is important, and talking to kids openly about what sex is important. But it's important to discuss those things to protect children from the dangers of adult content addiction, not to expose them to it freely. Social media frequently promotes sexual content the most, which creates a feedback loop between algorithms, consumers, and creators. A creator sees that when they post more promiscuous photos, they get more engagement. Posts with more engagement get fed to more people in the algorithm. Thus, more people, specifically young kids, are getting thrown more and more sexual content than ever, while social media creators get rewarded for starting those kids' addictions early. So much of our culture now revolves around taking advantage of our lustful instincts for profit.
In their official blog post from February 2021, YouTube announced that the YouTube Kids app had over 35 million weekly users. Since then, the app has almost doubled its total number of downloads. So if we do a little bit of math here, accounting for both of these numbers and other things like trends and higher user engagement, this means that every day, the estimated 70 to 80 million users of this platform have a good chance of being exposed to these kinds of videos and then having to deal with the life-altering, long-lasting effects as a result.
I asked my community if they had any experience with this kind of content in their youth, and people reached out sharing their stories. Here they are. This first person doesn't want to reveal their name, but they'll be referred to as Spooky.
It was around the time when it was the Sonic game that had like Sonic turn into like a werehog or whatever he was called. When I was younger, I really liked werewolves, like the concept. And this was also around the time my aunt got me a tablet for like Christmas. If you know anything about unrestricted internet access, I don't exactly remember how. I just got one video. It was like Sonic was running down a hill and he trips and falls right in front of Amy, and Amy miraculously floors Sonic. And I saw that video and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I just started watching more of his videos. I didn't understand what vor was at the time. I didn't know what vor was. Whole like brony stuff, like I saw Smile HD, I saw it, thought it was weird, and then I just kept watching stuff like that because I thought it was weird, and I thought if I kept watching I would understand it. I was like that one kid that would actually sit down and watch documentaries about stuff because I just wanted to learn. I don't remember a lot from him. I just mainly remember Sonic ones. I know he did a werehog one. I didn't realize he still uploaded today, and he made a remaster a couple months ago of that werehog video. I was like, damn. I didn't really know a lot about vor and like fetishes and stuff. I think when I watched those videos, YouTube did its thing and started requesting me more fetish videos, but it wasn't just Kick4, it was other people. It was like SFMs of My Little Pony videos and like other cartoons and stuff. It branched out to more fetishes and stuff, mainly like blueberry inflation, which if you know anything from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, then you know feet and like just a lot of those like the top contenders and stuff like that. I kept watching those videos. After we were done moving to another place, my tablet just decided to die, so I didn't really have access to my tablet, and for a good while I didn't have YouTube for a while. And then as I got older and started learning more about fetishes, I was like, what the fuck? I wasn't like shocked, it was just more of a realization like, oh, I watch this stuff. Like I said, there's like two types of people that come out of who used to watch Kick4, people who just look back at it and see it as weird, and then people who gained that fetish because of them. I didn't, but I do realize it might have been a gateway to weird stuff I'm into.
This channel, Alex and Steve Animation, which has 5.3 million subscribers and over 1.6 billion views, not only does the exact same thing, but they also have a direct link to a Patreon account that creates fully NSFW drawings and videos accessible by anybody with just one click.
For example, in Victor Andrews' video, Naked Girl Big Boobs, OP provides a link in the description. I took a major risk and opened this link, with a VPN of course, and it led me to a website that I wasn't really expecting. The link is to www.clubgirlshd.com, which then redirects to meetandlove.net. This website is strange, to say the very least, with a looped video of a scantily clad girl playing in the background. It seems like it's trying to copy Instagram's user interface and aesthetic. The website gives you a direct warning, being, you will see nude photos, please be discreet. It basically just tells you that you're going to start having some access to cheating and single moms that are looking for some fun, and that you must keep your identity secret, as it gives you options as to whether or not you agree to the things that they ask. Eventually, after you answer all the questions, you're given a continue button. At this point, when you click the continue, you'll be met with some different results. My first time clicking through this website, it linked me directly to Live Jasmine, a website that's basically just porn live streams. However, when I did it again and answered no to the questions, I was directed to what was clearly a malware phishing site, but luckily, my blocker did its job. This is far from the only YouTube video that links to this type of video, which has led people to believe that these playlists are made by some really scummy individuals who are working with porn websites, basically having the YouTube video be a carrot on a stick, with the link below being the full experience.
This is Neil. For the sake of anonymity, that's obviously not his real name, but as you can probably guess by now, Neil makes a living by owning and operating one of these Minecraft Kids content farms. However, for many reasons we'll dive into shortly, they might just be the worst of the worst. Because it's one thing to upload this disgusting content with the goal of monetary gain, but what's even more worrying and truly vile is owning channels like these, then trying to communicate with your audience and lure them off the site. Let's take a quick look at what Neil thinks is acceptable to post. Every single thumbnail, every single video on all of these channels completely violate YouTube's content guidelines. However, this isn't even the weirdest part. In his video, The Beak discovered that both of these channels advertised a link which invited anybody who clicked on it the ability to directly message Neil on Telegram, a messaging platform infamous for its overwhelming focus on privacy, with messages sent over there having end-to-end encryption and being, for the most part, completely untraceable. Yet, sometime after The Beak's video was posted, the owner suddenly removed these Telegram links and changed the contact email for both of the Pomni and Jack's channels. Interesting. I had the idea to paste the channel's original email address into the YouTube search bar, which brought me to a whole bunch more of these channels that he owned, impersonating even more YouTubers like Afmao and Maizen. Then I decided to try the same tactic with this new email and found yet another impersonation channel he owned which contains another sketchy link, this time leading to a Ko-fi page that sells NSFW content of their characters, which, of course, comes with another direct messaging feature.
And the things I've heard and seen from young men on the internet who have shared their stories of addictions haunts me. Took me less than 30 minutes after starting the script to find a comment from a kid who says he edges to anime adult content. And this is way more common than you think. This isn't even the bad stuff. So think about a young kid who is already into pleasuring himself to stuff like that at such a young age. If he does it frequently enough, he's eventually going to need to keep increasing the freakiness if he wants to get the same amount of pleasure he once got from anime girls. That is how Gooners are created, and that's what we'll keep seeing more of if young kids continue to have unrestricted access to sites like this.
A handful of creators have already made similar videos, both calling out YouTube on this massive problem, as well as encouraging their audience to mass report any bad channels they've mentioned, but every time, YouTube manually demonetizes and shadow bans the video in the algorithm, specifically for showcasing clips of all the nasty things these channels upload.
So I really hope that YouTube will prevent itself from going down the same spiral of shitification, although I doubt it, since all they did when I exposed the hidden ring of countless animal abuse in YouTube Kids content videos is age restrict my video, to the point that I had to re-upload a censored version, even though it was only showcasing content that they were already pushing to kids.
And it seemed like YouTube was paying very close attention. They ended up age restricting the video, then after people complained and I talked to a representative directly, they brought it back, and yet again it was manually reviewed for a third time, leading it to be demonetized, but it's still up to this day. This insane amount of focus on the video made it clear that they were watching, and luckily, shortly after this, every single search term mentioned in my video was scrubbed of all NSFW content. For a time, it seemed like we won. These playlists were finally gone, and YouTube was actually paying attention and enforcing their own rules for once. However, as the months passed, these playlists returned, and it appears that YouTube isn't really doing anything about it.
And at this point, you may be wondering why. Why would YouTube, despite obviously having the resources and ability to do so, still not take any action to fix this glaring issue with YouTube and YouTube Kids, but at the same time actively silence anyone who decides to speak out and make a video about it? Well, we can't be certain, but my personal theory is that YouTube has been aware of it the whole time. Think about it. These channels generate billions of views and, by proxy, an unfathomable amount of money. This revenue is generated entirely from the money advertisers pay to have their ads displayed on these videos, which honestly can be a problem in itself. I'm sure Apple would be just delighted to know that their ad is getting placed on a video and where a popular children's character gets buried alive. Like, what? YouTube splits this ad revenue with the creator, giving 55% of the share to them, and keeping 45% for themselves. Once you start to factor in the hundreds of other channels uploading the same inappropriate content that simply haven't been documented yet, most likely thousands if we include the accounts outside of the Minecraft niche posting the same, if not even worse content with other well-known characters, you can start to paint the picture of why YouTube theoretically might want to turn a blind eye. It makes up a small but notable chunk of their revenue each year. In YouTube's eyes, throwing all morals, ethics, and damage this content is inflicting on the millions of children who use this platform every single day, getting rid of it means that YouTube would be passing up a significant amount of money, and we all know they would never do that. The only way I think YouTube will actually end up making a change against Minecraft Kids content is if enough people bring attention to it, whether that be through news articles, other people making videos, etc. For the first time since this whole Minecraft Kids content problem started being talked about, YouTube actually responded in a completely unexpected fashion around 3 days after my video being posted. The official YouTube creators account left a comment saying, "Really appreciate you flagging this. Our teams are taking a close look now and we'll take it from here. We take reports like this very seriously, so thank you again for taking the time to help keep our community safe." And to be honest, I had some mixed feelings about this post. While it's amazing that YouTube has finally publicly acknowledged this issue instead of just doing what they always do and demonetizing the video, this comment, at least to me, really just reads as a hollow statement with little to no actual substance behind it. And that's exactly what a handful of people also said after I posted the comment to Twitter, which, by the way, go follow me over there, please. Given the recentness of this comment and the fact that it's structured exactly how YouTube support speaks on Twitter all the time, in fact, you can actually find this exact sentence, "We really appreciate you flagging this. We take reports like this very seriously, yada yada yada," copy pasted on a bunch of tweets over the years. Dude, look at how many there are, none of which seemed like they got their cases resolved. It really is hard to tell whether anything will actually change. Maybe there is somebody at YouTube who saw this with genuine concern for the future of both YouTube Kids and the platform, or maybe it's just a generic comment left to create the illusion that YouTube is actually doing something in efforts to sweep this whole thing under the rug once again.
It matters because of the catastrophic mental consequences that come with it. The awful erectile dysfunction when faced with real-life sexual interaction. The amount of pleasure it takes to get enough serotonin and dopamine to be happy when you're addicted, which makes any other activities that should naturally be pleasurable to you miserable. The increased risk of depression, social anxiety, and isolation. This is the end result of adult content addiction. And if you find that you are struggling with this ever-growing trend of edging and gooning, please get professional help. We need to start talking more openly and honestly about how hooked these kids are getting on some really weird shit on the internet. We need tighter restrictions around adult content, and we need to stop promoting and encouraging degeneracy by no longer engaging with those sorts of posts.
I was also able to speak with a woman who's been very heavily impacted by K-phoria throughout her entire life. Her name is Leo.
I'd have to say I started watching that stuff, must have been 8 years old. I remember it started because I watched I had unrestricted internet access. We would watch these K-phoria 4 videos of Sonic characters because I was really into Sonic at the time. So it just ended up being me constantly watching these videos over and over again. And eventually I figured that oh great, I'm into this now and it's bad. There's a lot of other things that came with it, especially inflation and weight gain videos on YouTube, which were really out there at the time. People could just watch it because there was no age restricted mode on those videos. So a lot of children I know, especially I even know people in real life too who have watched these videos, and I guess some of people I know it didn't really stick with them, but for someone like me it kind of did, because now I've got a inflation and weight gain fetish, and it's not good. I must have been 7, I'll be honest. 7 years old.
And how old are you now, if you don't mind sharing?
19 years old.
You've been in the trenches for a while now.
Yeah, basically the thing that I noticed with a lot of those videos, right? I used to feel funny when I watched them, and I didn't know why, and I had no idea what it was. I guess it was probably because of the brown bellies and stuff. I don't know. I guess it was because I liked Sonic characters a lot, and because seeing them in these like situations was just like kind of intriguing to me when I was a kid. I remember, I guess, like I used to just watch these videos constantly, and like I just couldn't stop watching them.
Right.
Me and my cousin would also watch them together on the family computer. And I didn't know what was wrong with them because, like, at the time I wasn't thinking about that type of stuff because I was way too young to be, like, thinking like that. I guess it was just, like, it just ended up with, like, me actively searching for it because, like, sometimes I would search in, like, Sonic fat or, like, Sonic characters being fat or something like that. As I grew older, I figured out what it was, and it just kind of stuck with me. The thing that really pulled me in was just, like how weird it was. Because it was so badly animated. It was not even really animation. It was just like MS Paint with like a character and then just a round circle to stomach.
Well, you started off with K-Phoria, and then it led to so much more.
Yeah.
You mentioned weight gain fetish videos and inflation fetish videos.
Yeah.
How did you find them on YouTube?
I think it started because since I watched K-Phoria videos, I think it was being because it would like end up on my recommended because I watched a lot of it, and also because prior to seeing K-Phoria, I also watched a lot of Disney as a kid, like when a really young kid, like 4 years old. And I remember they would have like these gags where a character's clothes would inflate, like there's one scene with Goofy. And also Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the blueberry inflation scene, definitely, I searched that up. And some scenes from SpongeBob, all these cartoons. And I guess it ended up, once I like learned how to spell and type on my keyboard, that really like helped me a lot to find these videos. But at the time I didn't know what it was, and I just like searched it up. Because at the time I remember like inflation was a big meme because of DeviantArt, and also because I used DeviantArt at the time. I think I started my first DeviantArt account when I was around 9 years old, and I even have the account still. Like you can still search it up. I remember it would always like fetish stuff would always come on the front page, and as I grew older, I think 10 is when I realized it was a fetish, because I couldn't stop watching it. I realized, yeah, this is definitely sexual, especially when real life videos come to play. There's everything. You can just search anything up, and like you can even search up like a furry character, and like something on the front page will be something that is fetish art in some way.
Yeah.
Like on Google as well.
Are you into furry stuff as well?
Yes, I am. Big fan of Ren and Stimpy, especially. I used to be a big time furry when I was younger, like 9 years old. I used to like have a cat character. I was not really into the furry thing, but I liked the way they looked. Mm-hmm. That's definitely like, because I thought it was like cool, colorful animals.
Right.
And it was really definitely the bright colors of the characters. Also, I noticed that like a lot of these characters have bright colors, especially in fetish art, which is also another thing. I've also seen a pattern of things like with fetish stuff, especially if you search up an inflation account on Instagram, there's going to be a lot of art of minors and characters that are not of age. That's deeply upsetting, and it's just like kind of weird. I don't understand.
Truly. Yeah.
There's like a lot of pedophilia that goes on in a lot of these communities, and no one really likes to talk about it because people have just become so desensitized in the community, I guess. I don't know, no one brings this up. I don't know.
I'm glad you are now, because it's truly, it's incredibly disturbing. Yeah.
It is. I don't know if it's people that don't care or is the fact that they get off to it, but I don't know which one's worse. They're both really bad. I have to say there's a small correlation to it, because a lot of these people do aim their content towards a younger audience. Mm-hmm. And I feel like fishing in younger people into watching this is like kind of like farming these fetishes into children, just like how like Elsa Gate, for example. A lot of it uses bright imagery, child characters, like these characters from kids media, and I do see like a lot of minors being depicted. So I'd say yeah, there's a correlation. It's still happening. I mentioned, like, I was thinking about this guy named Secret Goomba Man 12345. He is this guy, and he animated Tiara from My Little Pony inflation video, like, and she's obviously supposed to be like in kindergarten, which is just, or like elementary school, but still, it's disturbing because no one brings it up, and also people who fetishize Violet from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, even though she's clearly a child in that movie. There was a lot of that stuff, like Flash animations. I remember as a kid, I used to have tons of those on like Newgrounds. There was this guy who also had a character who was like a little girl furry he makes a lot of stuff of like young girls as well. I'm not really sure what his name is, but he did like this one animation where it was like this like young furry girl who inflates like the blueberry inflation scene from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. There was a lot of kids stuff, like it was really bad.
Does, from your experience, a lot of the art still feature children that's currently being made?
Like anime stuff, definitely. Like girls like in high school, middle school, like these anime characters. I don't watch anime myself, but you can clearly see it's a kid being depicted in a lot of those drawings. And no one has really said anything about how Inflation and K4, and all these like content creators have basically groomed these children via their videos into having the same fetish as them.
Yeah.
That's not often talked about. This is the first time I've seen a person actually bring it up on a video. So dating is definitely a big problem when you have this fetish. And I'd say it's a lot harder to get in a relationship with a person because when you have a fetish, the only thing that gets you on is anything that is connected to the fetish, in my experience. So dating and being in a relationship and having to tell your partner, like, hey, I'm into making chicks fat and inflating them like balloons is pretty fucking embarrassing. In my own experience, it's made some people uncomfortable, and I understand why it makes them uncomfortable. So it's definitely hindered me from getting into relationships. Thankfully, I'm in a good one now. And another thing is also that when you tell some people about it, they take advantage of it and they say, oh, I'll make you fat as fuck. And they basically, there's a whole really sinister thing like force feeding and all that stuff, like weight gain stuff, where like a person in a relationship, like a feeder and a feedee, the feeder will basically feed that person that they're in a relationship with until like they get so sick of like their disease and because they get so overweight that they get all these health issues, and it's like that's a turn on for some people. And that's a whole like it's really like dark because, and this also connected to the problem of like content of like this, because as a kid you don't know what's going on, and when you grow up you end up with problems like as fetish, and you end up wanting to force feed a person until they become sick and die. That's also a really big problem, and not a lot of people talk about that either.
You bringing that up makes me kind of wonder if anyone has been unfortunate enough to either get really sick or lose their life thanks to content that was consumed online. Probably
is, or probably will be, because people are still growing up, and we haven't come to the point where people have grown up to the point where they can actually sustain lives like that. But I'm guessing that there probably is like some people who have fallen into that type of relationship, and because of this kind of content, because it grooms people at a young age. The whole effect of this has definitely fucked up my sexual life. So especially now I can't. Yeah, as I said, I can't get turned on by anything except the fetish that I'm into, which is bad.
Right.
And it's really embarrassing.
I mean, do you ever kind of wish you never saw those old
definitely.
Sonic videos?
A lot of the time, yes, definitely. Because I don't know. It's just like it's hard for me now because like there is a lot of access to that type of stuff, but also when you are so deep into this thing, it's just really hard because sometimes you can't get into reality. But then like you gotta think, okay, oh yeah, no, never mind, no, because you get that like boost nut clarity. You're like, oh god, this is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's really fucking. I feel sick sometimes after thinking about it too much.
You know, I kind of need to ask you, if you had a way to just kind of prevent future generations from witnessing any of this kind of stuff, would you?
Yes, definitely don't give your kids an iPad. Don't give your kids a computer at like 5 years old. Once you do that, they're gonna find a way to go on the internet. It's so open, and even if a person puts all these like parental control things, a kid's still gonna find a way to try finding something because of out of curiosity. And also I'd say a lot of parents don't know what it is. They put their kids down with a cartoon, like as I said, Disney or something. They have like those inflation scenes. As they grow older, they're probably gonna find out because you're gonna search for it because they probably have a memory of seeing it. At least that's what happened to me. I think as a person with autism, right, I say that there is also a weird correlation with like autism and this type of fetish, I guess. I don't know, I've noticed that a lot of content creators on DeviantArt especially, like who make like fetish content like this, have a pattern of having autism. I don't really know what that's about, but like all the comments are all by like a bunch of 8-7-year-olds, like the same age as I was, and these people are definitely gonna grow up and they're gonna be like, oh, I shouldn't have been watching this as a kid. But the thing is that these people shouldn't be putting it out there, especially if they're going to be putting stuff out that is basically just it's just obviously targeted towards kids.
Yeah.
And you can't just like say, oh, but like there's no but, dude. You just age restrict the video or just don't post it.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's
yeah.
literally it's so black and white. It truly is.
Yeah.
If you don't want
It is.
kids watching your video, don't have it
Don't
public.
post it.
Yeah.
I'd also like to mention how like a lot of kids use DeviantArt, and DeviantArt is a cesspool. So if you're a kid and you're watching this, don't go on DeviantArt ever, because there's nothing on there anymore. It's dead, and all you're gonna find is AI art and fetish art. Don't go on there. That's Legitness 76 interview. Subscribe to Raymundo. He's a good content creator. Give this video a like and sub to Raymundo if you haven't.
There we go. Fantastic. I hope you see how serious this entire situation is and how incredibly important it is for children to not be on the internet, because inevitably they will be exploited. It's horrible in every capacity. Yet people still defend people like Euphoria, saying that his audience is adults only and that he's unaware of any children in his audience. But as you'll soon see, that's completely false. Keith knows his fans are children. In a video parodying the 80s Sonic the Hedgehog TV show, Sonic breaks the fourth wall in a line saying, "I think I can explain everything to you guys." And you there at your computer watching this instead of doing your homework. The fact that people defend him saying anything otherwise is just denial. One look at the comment section before he disabled them made it clear who was watching these videos. In fact, literally every single person I've spoken to regarding this channel was a child when they watched it, not a single adult or even teenager. They were children from the ages of 6 to 10 generally. It's disgusting. In this same exact video, Sonic runs through the set pieces of prior videos that K4A has made, those being the ones that use characters from the Sonic franchise, and he explains what vor is in a way to make it easily understandable to the audience. Sonic explains that K4A's videos are known as euphoria, a compound word of vor and euphoria. He then goes on to directly say, vor is a fetish for people who like to fantasize about eating or being eaten by other people. Plus, it appeals to viewers who like girls getting huge round bellies, since they find it sexy. There it is. Spelled out for you clear as day, right there.
As of today, every one of the channels I've mentioned remains fully up and monetized, continuing to make money off of the disgusting content they post. However, while all of the channels still exist, in a recent discovery, I found out that some of these channels I mentioned, more specifically the 11.3 channel and the Alex and Steve animation channel, would go on to completely delete all of the content on their channel, or at the very least, all of the ones with suggestive Minecraft thumbnails. Whether or not these two things are related, I thought it was pretty cool to note regardless.
All that is to say, this cycle needs to end. But it doesn't end when tech companies start to clamp down on restrictions and make better moderation, because scummy individuals are always going to slip through the cracks. Every time. It ends when we wake up and realize that the internet is just not a place that young children should be at all. Period. It ends when we realize that Generation Z and Generation Alpha tell us everything we need to know about the future if things keep going the way that they are. It ends when we realize that these generations have faced severe consequences from having unmonitored internet access, and now pay the price, mostly in regards to mental health.
How do we fix this?
Well, I think either A, that too many of the people making the videos will end up getting falsely flagged or demonetized, and then they just stop making the videos because they can't make money from it anymore. Or B, it somehow gets like significant media attention to the point where they actually decide to take action. Because I feel like right now, no one really knows about this stuff or really cares, right? You never hear about it. So I think those are the two options. I don't think anything's really going to change because I feel like they don't have any reason to change anything, right?
So, that is the thing that I have created. Now, before we get into everything that I kind of just want to say, we're already an hour in, right? So, what do? What is my plan? What is my big idea? The only thing that I can really genuinely think of is this has got to get on the news. YouTube has shown before, it's got to get on the news. Like, advertisers need to stop advertising. YouTube needs to start losing money, and then they'll do something. It's the only thing that works. So my idea is that once this video is uploaded, I'm going to put it out on X, and I'm going to @mention every fucking news organization I can think of. Fox, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS, everybody. Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, anybody who does news and has any sort of power at all. Like, just who the fuck ever. Whoever I think can get it out there. Anybody that can get it out there. And I would encourage you to check the description, because after I put it out on X, I'm going to put the link to that tweet in the description of this video. And then that way you can just one click, bam, you're right there, and retweet it. Retweet it with tags that you want put on it. Mention other people that you think might be, you know, useful in getting this out there. Like, because this is bad. It's really bad. Like, there's so many different, and this is nothing. Like, there's so much more, too. And it's ridiculous. And so, it's got to get on the news. That's just how it has to happen. And the more people that retweet my original tweet, and the more people that, you know, quote tweet it with additional tags, the more that happens, the more it gets out there. And the more, you know, if I tweet it to Tucker Carlson and he sees it, he's probably not even going to notice it out of the millions of fucking tweets that he gets a day, right? But if all 30, 40, 50 of you guys do it, or are retweeting it to other people with more tags, and it's all news organizations, Tucker's smart enough that he'll be like, all right, maybe I check this out. Whatever it takes. Who cares? Like, it's got to happen. That's the only way. Somebody's got to do it. So, it's the only thing I can think of. And this video is such a condensed, like, I made this video very deliberately the way that I made it. It's all quick, random facts that just slowly work their way into your brain until it's all you can see. And I purposefully cut up things to where you kind of want to see what the actual video is. Of course, in the description, I will have linked all, I think, 10 videos that I used. They're all down there. So you can go back and check any of those videos. Throw a like and comment and subscribe and all that stuff to Caleb is Salty, Cole Hastings, Soggy Cereal, Raimundo 2112, and Investigating YouTube, and that's it. Check all those guys out. They actually have really good channels. So, I mean, just beyond this kind of stuff, they're actually good creators. So check them out. Give them some love. But you know, they're all talking about all of these different things. Like, first of all, let's be honest. They're saying this is ElsaGate 3.0. Fuck that. This is like ElsaGate 1.4. Right? It never realistically ended. Like, I've got a gap in there. I've got things from as far back as 21. And then, of course, ElsaGate was 16 to 17. In between that, I'm sure there was shit going on. I'm sure it was all still going on. Because that was when everybody was poking around trying to see where the weaknesses are in the algorithm. So they were still trying to get it up. And now it's everywhere. Now it's... ElsaGate has fucking subgenres now. All that shit. And ads with straight up porn in them. Like... You put it all together, and it's an hour of horrific content. So, yeah, I mean, that, all in all, like, I'm so heartsick about all I've been dealing with this shit for a week. It's all I've been able to talk about with people because everybody wants to know about what's going on with it. And I don't want to be like, dude, I don't want to talk about it because these, you know, friends of mine that are asking me about this stuff, they got kids. And I'm like, do you let your kid just watch whatever they want on YouTube? And they're like, oh. A girl I worked with was like, yeah, that's why I don't let my kid watch YouTube anymore. I only let him watch YouTube Kids. And I'm like, you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like, even in my own personal life, I'm looking at people going, oh no, that's like the worst thing you could do. Like, no. So, yeah, share it to your friends. Share it to your family. Have everybody see this. You know somebody who has kids? Show them this video. If you want to make a funny meme of it, you want to make your own content about this stuff, you got some TikTok dreams, go out there and ask people, so do you have children? Yeah, I have kids. What age are your kids? Oh, I got a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old. Perfect. So do you let them just watch YouTube, whatever they want? Just let them kind of watch whatever they want? Well, no, I don't let them watch just YouTube, whatever. There's all sorts of crazy stuff on YouTube. I only let them watch YouTube Kids. And then show them a fun little, like your favorite little snippet of all of this. Just show them that. And then get the reaction of them going, like, educate some people. Like, whatever it is we have to do. But it has to get out there. It has to become a thing. It has to get on the news again. We have to have another adpocalypse, or YouTube will never do anything about this. And YouTube. What the fuck? Like, April 2nd, I looked up some of these channels in these videos. And one of them I found was void. Like 2 videos on the channel. Had hundreds of videos before, now it has 2, right? But they kept their subs. They kept their monetization and whatever it is else that you keep, even though you have no videos up anymore and you've deleted all of that. Whatever record they've kept, it preserves that. So what happened was Raimundo makes a movie about it, or, makes a video about it. He either gets a strike because Raimundo probably flagged a video, or somebody else went and flagged a video, or maybe he got up to 2 strikes and then just delete everything. Right? Because that maintains the channel. And that's very important, especially if your channel is monetized. Maintain the monetization, maintain your subscriber count. Fuck the content, who cares? Because it's all 30-second videos of uncensored porn. Like straight up uncensored porn. That's what the whole channel was. And I look back, and as of April 2nd, one of those channels had 2 videos. Right? Because they preserved their shit, started uploading again. They waited a couple months and started uploading videos again. And would you like to know what the first video they uploaded was? So, there's a cartoon called Ben 10, and I believe Ben has a sister named Gwen, and she's an underage cartoon character. Right? She's an underage cartoon character. But, dude uploaded a 30-second video of her in the shower, masturbating, and fully uncensored. I saw all 3 regions of interest, shall we call them. Right there on YouTube. Like, so as of April 2nd, there's still uncensored lolly hentai on fucking YouTube. And other channels, they're like that Cody Blocks guy, I think he's just going to skate. I think all that shit's just going to be up there. Until it hits the news. And then that asshole's going to get his shit shut down. But he just leaves the video. He's just got the videos left up there. How do you think I got the thumbnail? I ripped it off of his fucking site. Why not? If he's going to exploit that dumb bitch, why can't I? Right? He's going to exploit her to fuck kids up. Hopefully I can exploit her to save some kids here and there. Right? So, hopefully I made this video clickbaity enough to at least get somebody to watch it for the first 5 minutes or so and really, start, what the fuck? Because it hasn't ended. We are in Elsagate 1.4. Anybody who tells you differently is a part of it. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, we're still here. And it's just getting bigger and worse. The cancer is metastasized, and it is now spreading through all systems. The shorts, that shit's crazy. Just as an FYI, also, 2 of the clips in this video, in the very beginning part of the, well, not the very beginning, but like the very beginning of the now stuff, 2 of the clips in that video, I found. And ripped them and put them in. And you want to know what it is? Comic dubs. I had another guy's video that I was going to add, but he's very funny. He's got a very comedy channel. And, like, I wanted to keep a nice, like, Soggy's bad enough, so I wanted to keep a nice, even, you know, have him kind of be there to lighten the mood here and there, just for some sort of relief, but nevertheless, and so I didn't want to use this video, but if you just look up comic dubs, like, what is a comic dub, right? Book on tape. You can sit and listen to somebody read you a book, or you can sit and watch a video of somebody read you a comic book while they're showing the pages and the cells from the comic book, right? Very cool idea. Comicstorian, huge channel. That's what they do. They read comic books. It's comic books on tape. And if you go search comic dubs, I'm willing to bet you actual fucking money, you search it right now. Comic dub. You will see a huge list of nothing but fucking hentai porn. Softcore hentai porn. Fantastic. And so, yeah. And Raimundo posted an update, said that a lot of the stuff that he reported in one of his videos is now gone. But at the same time, is it gone? Or did the channels go, oh shit, we got caught, delete everything, we'll wait a couple months and then just start reposting again? Because unless the channel's gone, it's back. And again, YouTube don't care because they're making money. They're working on making short money. They want short money. We want the millions right fucking now. And then later on, when we've got to pay, you know, $500 million in fines, that's going to suck, but, you know, that's why we need the money now. So that we can pay for the fines later. And when the advertisers pull their money because, you know, we're hosting hentai lolly porn on the site, you know, they might get upset about that. And so when they pull their money, that's why we need the money now. Except, shithead, if you just kept the shit from getting to be a problem, you wouldn't lose all that money in the future. And then you don't need the money now so much, do you? Like, pull your head out of your ass, dumb fucks. Get active. The more you just throw this shit in our laps and go, tell us what you think, and then make it to where it doesn't fucking matter. Like, the more you guys try to do Bethesda role-playing games, where essentially no matter what you pick, it leads you to the same cutscene, like it's always the same response. Yeah, until you guys stop doing that dumb shit, it's gonna grow out of control. Like, it's one of their videos that makes it to the news, it's my video, somebody else's video, or Tucker Carlson's just strolling around on fucking YouTube one day, and then all of a sudden, is that an ad for a bitch masturbating? Like, what are we selling here? Sooner or later, people are going to see it. Sooner or later, it's going to get out there. A stupid gambit to play, YouTube. A stupid fucking gambit. And this is why I have no respect for you. But anyways. There you go. That is the Franken video I made out of the clippings of the absolute worst parts of like 10 videos. To give you a really fully fleshed out idea of what we're looking at. Now and in the future. Look upon our future and weep.